job contract that offers a prospective county manager a six-figure severance if he were to quit only months after being hired, and alternatively, if the county board fired a county manager only months after hiring him, do you think the public has the right to know the exact reason for the dismissal? And by the way, what is the exact reason? Especially in the light of the fact that it is funding the severance package and that the county has a budget shortfall.
The severance provision in the former county manager's contract is fairly standard. When you hire people for this kind of job, they don't have a lot of rights ultimately, in the sense that they serve at will, and so should they not work out, they have some protection for them for a period of time, since they don't get a job like that really easily. Fortunately, you don't often have to use them, but that's basically what we had here, the standard severance provision in the contract, which unfortunately had to be exercised. The answer to the question why, I think, is pretty much, as you have heard, which is that if he hadn't done anything wrong, or he wouldn't be eligible for severance. But that's not the same thing as being able to run this county in the fashion that we need in a community that is large and complex and is not comparable to many others in the country. It's a big place, and if you have a town of 10 or 20,000 people, there are probably a lot of people who will find out that are capable of doing the job. When you have an organization as large as ours, a community as large as ours, as complex as ours, in the midst of a three-state area with millions of people in the metropolitan region, there are a limited number of people who are really capable of taking it on. And there's a disadvantage coming in from outside. When we went out to hire, we didn't have any internal candidates. As it turns out, we had an interim who had only expected to be doing it for 2 months, but wound up doing it for 7 months and 4 snowstorms and a warming break, and had thoroughly proven herself. And fortunately, we were able to go right to her, and she's, I think, one of the most capable people ever to take over. And I think the Barbara and Illinois have very good results, and the organization has a lot of confidence in her. I have a lot of confidence in her. Those who have worked with her will know that she's the person to work with in the future. And make our work in the place we want.
I certainly don't disagree that putting a step when you're recruiting someone to come in and take this kind of job, having a severance package is inappropriate. I mean, he probably wouldn't take the job without something in there that protects him from moving his family all the way from Georgia to Arlington and risk being fired 3 months later and having to incur all those expenses. Having said that, I think after 4.5 months, I don't know if you give it a reasonable time to prove himself. We don't know the detailed reasons of why he was let go, so I can only speculate on that. I think having someone from the outside was a good idea, bringing a fresh perspective to the board, to how things could be run. As I've maintained all along, one of my biggest problems with the situation was that the board tried to protect him, I think, gave him the opportunity to resign. And then when it came to light that they gave him the severance package, they didn't actually admit to it and fess up to what happened until they went to their monthly Democratic committee meeting. I don't think that's the type of thing you should talk, that's the forum to bring that forward. I think it should have been done in a more public forum, either through the press or, he could have picked up the phone and done a conference call with the local reporters, and I think that would have been a more appropriate way to handle it.
I think the question is really relevant these days, and it kind of brings to mind several issues about Arlington. One thing I've said at some of these other presentations is that Arlington people are, in a way, blessed economically, and they're fairly polite to each other, which is good. But because of that, sometimes we don't raise and discuss the issues that are relevant and important to a community. And this is sort of a case in point. I don't think we'll ever know exactly why, and only rumors will explain why the county board dismissed Michael Brown. I'm sorry to see that happened. I had a good impression of him. I knew that he was working hard to, with staff, probably pushing them beyond limits they wanted to have been pushed. And I think actually that's maybe a reasonable thing for him to have done. Again, I don't know why. That is a bit of speculation. Nonetheless, I think we have the Arlington Way here. The Arlington Way is defined by many different people. I guess I'd say about the Arlington Way, it's nearly an impossible objective to meet, but we try to meet it, and that is that everyone has their say. But it shouldn't preclude good government. And having had really years of healthy financial status in Arlington, we may not be in that period of time anymore, and defining the role between government officials, the county board, and the public, I think is going to be important. I think we're entering a different era in that regard.